On today's special episode of Homeworthy, we're taking you to the small town of St. Joseph, Louisiana, where one of our most popular hosts, Rebecca Vizard, takes us on a tour of her rural town that has just under 1,000 residents.
Well, here's my little town, and I just love it. As a matter of fact, Maria's has the best Mexican food. We every now and then have people coming in from out west, like Arizona and New Mexico, and they always tell me this is the best Mexican food they've ever had. Her margaritas are incredible.
You remember Rebecca and her beautiful home, but now she's going to show us her favorite shops, including her own.
Hey there, y'all look around. We're being filmed. Okay, this is an example. These people, where did you ladies drive in from?
Plus art galleries and restaurants.
These tamales are so good. My son in Nashville usually buys about 40 dozen at a time and brings them back to Nashville because all his friends want them.
So come along with us for a hometown tour.
And here's my friend Keith Carroll, actually from New York. So oh no, the New Yorkers are discovering us. We're doomed.
You won't want to miss this.
I now want to go dance a little with my sweetie. So I'll see you later.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Be sure to visit our website, homeworthy.com, to discover amazing furniture, art, accessories, and more, all handpicked by our editors to help transform your house into a home. All of the items are inspired by the episodes you see here on Homeworthy. Enjoy!
Hey Homeworthy, I'm Rebecca Vizard, and you were at my house maybe a month ago. And I'm glad you got to see everything here, but what I'm dying to show you is my little town of St. Joseph, Louisiana. In 2016, everything was boarded up, and we have had this major resurgence and so many fun things to do. And the cool thing about this is we're so far off the beaten path, not many people get to come here. Those who do are really lucky, and when they come, they love it and they don't want to leave. So follow me. Let's go right into town. Take you to our little town, but first I know you're all wondering what this is. So to address the elephant in the room, this morning sweet little Lulu, my little beagle, who was the star of the last show, got attacked by a dog, and I had to jump in there and save her. And so fortunately she's okay. She just needed a few stitches, as did I. But anyway, you know, these things happen, and I'm glad it wasn't worse. So now let me take you into town. The funny thing, and I'm so grateful this didn't happen, in the 18th century, there supposedly, this is the legend, there were some missionaries here, and they were in tents, I guess, or something, and every time they had a meal, they would cook in their skillet, and then they'd put the skillet out and let all the wild dogs lick the skillet. And so the name of our town was almost Lick Skillet. And can you imagine? I think St. Joseph sounds a lot more fancy. As a matter of fact, when I went to college at Tulane, people would ask me, when I'd say I'm from St. Joseph, a lot of times they go, oh, is that in the Virgin Islands? So it made it kind of sound more exotic than Lick Skillet. The town is so cute. Our main street is called Plank Road, and the reason it's called Plank Road is because the men, a group of men, I thought at one time it was just one, but I learned later it was a group of men got together because the street was just dirt, and so every time a buggy or something would come down the street, I mean, we're talking around late 1800s, early 1900s, you know, if it rained, they'd all get stuck and make a big mess, and it was just hard for people to get around. So these men came up with an idea, and they bought all these planks and they laid them out so that, and they made it a toll road. So you paid to drive over the planks. So that's how the street got its name, Plank Road. But we have events in town that are a lot of fun, and on Saturdays, like today will be a little quiet, but Saturdays are really hopping when all the out-of-town people come in. We call them the lake people. And somebody told me one time, don't call me a lake person. That sounds like a horror movie. But everybody calls them the lake people. So the lake people come in and they shop the town, and we call it walking the plank. So anytime we have an event, it's always party on the plank or walk the plank. And our cool little fitness gym that opened up in town is called Plank Fitness. So we like the name Plank. But anyway, I think it's kind of cool that that name came from history and we don't just have a street called Main Street. All right, I can't wait for you to see Farrah's shop called Driftwood Garden and Supply. And the other cool thing is, I mean, you can make a metal building look really good. They opened this about a year ago, and the town's gone crazy because you used to have to drive, 45 miles to go get some potting soil or something. And not only that, Farrah has great taste, and she's so fun and interesting, and she gets interesting plants that you don't see everywhere. Hey girl,
hey, how's it going?
I know. Well, Farrah, tell them about the Driftwood, how you got the name.
So, I'm not really sure how it came to be. I wanted to have some sort of tie to the river and the Mississippi Delta area, and it kind of fit, with some of the other businesses that downtown, like River Traders and things like that. Everybody, kind of had some sort of significance to being along the river.
Right.
And so, and it's actually a favorite pastime of my family and I. We like to go along the lake banks and go down to the river and look for driftwood. And so these are actually some pieces that my kids have found, and we just kind of accumulate, a collection up here. And I also have some much nicer pieces that were harder to find, harder to get out of the river. And so, and they've become statement pieces up here, and people purchase them.
Yeah.
And they go on to be featured in their homes.
Right.
So,
I was just saying, it's like sculpture, by nature, which is,
right.
How cool is that when you pull it out and go, wow.
Yeah, and I even have people that they'll send me a picture of an area in their yard or their outdoor fireplace and say, if you see anything that goes here, keep me in mind. And so I'm always hunting for bigger and better pieces. So.
That's great. What is this called? Because I find them in the woods sometimes and use them in arrangements.
It's a native. It's called American Beautyberry, and they grow along the banks of the Mississippi. And so, which surprises a lot of people. They don't always know that we have stuff like this here. And I try to push for natives because in times like this summer and right now we're having such a drought, these never blinked an eye. They kept going. They didn't require as much maintenance to survive that heat wave we had. And right now they're going into dormancy, so they're losing their leaves. But when they do that, the berry clusters will stick behind for a little bit longer, and that's like what Becky was saying. These are so fun to snip and use them in arrangements. And they're actually, the birds love them. So I have a big one at my house, and it's been feeding the wildlife. So, but yeah, they're a great piece, and I'm always a fan of the native plants. So.
Right. And I know right now it's a little bit at the end of the season, but oh, look at this one. I love this piece. I mean, it looks like somebody would have had to have, fabulous artist would have made it.
I know, and these are fun because like this one I feel like should hang on a wall somewhere, I mean, and it can be propped up in a corner somewhere also. But
and then you can also put plants in them and
you
make
can. And I had a woman come in and and get one, and she mounted it to her outdoor fireplace, and it's got plants growing on it.
It's fabulous.
And the only thing we do to them is we pressure wash them. We don't add any varnish or anything like that. We just hit them with, you know, a hard water stream, and it kind of gets all the grime off, and it brings out their natural color.
They're fabulous. I just love them. Wow, look at these pieces down here.
Yeah, so we've got kind of a collection.
Those are amazing.
Down here also.
Gosh, this one almost looks like a shark. Look
I
at
know.
that eye.
Like this one is perfect.
Oh,
put a plant in me.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Oh, that's really cool.
These are the ones that we look for, things that could hold plants or just have some sort of significant structure to them.
Right. Oh, and I love it. Look what.
So yeah, so this is a Christmas cactus, actually. She brought me the deer, and I was like, well, we just so happen to have Christmas cactus that are starting to set flower buds. So
that's exciting.
I've been working very hard to get them to set flower buds because you have to start to alter their day and nighttime hours to get them to do it. So
as you can tell, Farrah is a genius and an expert, and she is the heart of our gardening community here. And okay, I have to ask, is this from your farm?
Yes.
That her husband is a wonderful farmer, and look at that. That makes the most incredible arrangement.
I know, and I'm sad to take it down because fall is fleeting, and we'll transition into winter soon. But it has been a nice little arrangement.
It's beautiful.
He actually even helped me cut it down.
Oh, cool! Oh, that's nice.
So yeah.
Well, maybe you can just spray it with gold or silver paint for Christmas.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Anyway, well, it's looking good in here.
Thank you.
One of the other things that's just amazing, is she's got this giant head out here. You have to see the big head. What do we call him?
I've been calling him Big Dave, as in David. I will say my kids did come up here last night, and they realized there was a cavity behind there, and they were in it.
Oh, hiding.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So.
But yeah, he's been quite the conversation piece here today.
This, I think, kind of really helps, especially at the end of the season. She doesn't have as many plants. She says, oh my gosh, you've got more artichokes. I need some artichokes. But one thing is amazing, artichokes grow beautifully here, and it's the prettiest foliage. So yes, you have to save 2 more for me.
I will, and I have some of that dinosaur kale on hold for your husband as well.
You see, it's a really small community. I think our last census in 2020 was about 830 people. So, and somebody told me the other day it's 750, but I'm pulling for 800.
Yeah,
but
it's tight knit for sure. Yeah.
And the other thing though is you do have the lake community, which makes it in the summer it definitely feels like a much bigger place.
It's definitely buzzing in the spring and the summer, and that's kind of what in a small town is tricky for the businesses to manage the fluctuation in activity. And so, that's just something that's always kind of in the back of our heads, dealing with, who you're going to cater to. And so, because we have the lake crowd and then we have our locals. So.
I know. And then the other thing is, it'll be slow after the summer, and then all of a sudden you'll have like a carload of women come from Jackson, and they are like locusts, and they buy everything.
I know.
And you want to have enough for those kind of days, but you never know when they're going to happen.
That's right. And so I try to make sure I have color on the tables, even if it's just a little bit, because you never know when the girls trip is going to come to town, or So, and I had somebody just come in a little while ago, and they bought themselves a nice little birthday present. I mean, it could be all over the board.
But the other thing that I think is amazing, I love the architecture of the building, and y'all have made it look so cute. At first, when they said they're going to do a metal building, I kind of went, oh no, except I knew you had good taste. So, and Tammy Benoit and her husband have done this for a lot of people around here. They have renovated a building or built something, and then allowed younger people to come in and rent it or rent to buy. I mean, they have really done a lot for the community.
And so the metal was chosen because cost of materials you know, is
Yeah.
elevated still right now. And so, but we also wanted something that would like be durable to this environment. You know, like
Sure.
during the summer, there's times where I run the water hose into the building to
And just-
water things. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
And so we make like that end of the building slopes so that water will run out. You know,
That's
so little
perfect.
things like that.
Right.
We took into account when deciding on all those things.
Right.
And this was like the brainchild of several people coming together with photos, and
Yeah.
out came this.
And it worked. It
Yeah.
worked. Yeah, I'd say our whole town is the brainchild of everybody coming together.
Right, yeah.
Which is also so special. I just, you know, I ordered some baby clothes for my shop one day, and I realized Natalie had the same brand, so I called them back and said, oh no, wait, cancel that because they're right down the street. And the girl went, are you kidding? Nobody does that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
we're all trying to help each other and all trying to make it good. And,
I know.
and so Farrah has been an amazing addition, and we just love having a garden place here. And not only that, really all our driftwood is incredible.
Well, it's super fun to collect it, so it'll, you know, it's, I don't
Yeah.
know, it's kind of a hobby.
Yeah,
At this
a
point.
hobby you turned into a business.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. All righty. Global headquarters. I can't wait for y'all to see this. This was the first business actually open in town in 2016, and I really didn't think it was going to work. As a matter of fact, my dad thought I was crazy. He was the local banker, and there was nothing else open here. And so I bought the building for very little money because all the buildings were in terrible shape, gutted it, and put this up. And I really thought this is going to be perfect. For the summer, I'll have a shop, and then the rest of the year, I'll just have the pillows in here to ship because most of our business was online. So anyway, summer ended and people kept coming. It was crazy. So I kind of call it the accidental store. I didn't really realize it was going to work. But oh, by the way, look at these Suzani jackets. Are these incredible? And these are actually for guys. We have some for women too. But look at that. And the whole thing is made by hand. Each little stitch all the way through, it's constructed by hand. And these are from Uzbekistan. And the coolest thing about the guy that I partner with, he has his ladies do this little black and white stitch called the flicker stitch, and it just makes them pop. I mean, I've loved Suzanis forever, but these are just the best I've ever seen. So let's go to global headquarters. Come on in. I'm so excited for y'all to be at global headquarters. I love to call it that. And it's cute. Some of the local people will go, hey, I'll meet you at Global. Saturday morning, let's meet at Global. We have a drink called the Viz Fizz. But we have all kinds of fun things, and I lean toward things that are handmade and have a little uniqueness. I think I need a larger one. But anyway, I also love having the pillows here. In New Orleans, we have a lot more pillows. Up here, we don't sell as many pillows here. But the other thing that's so crazy to say, in the beginning of town when nobody would buy anything, there were buildings that sold for like $1,000, like the price of a pillow. And now, of course, everything's gone up because it's become a hop in place. But I want to show you the pillows and how we do them. This little gem is, it comes from a Turkish embroidery. And one of the things I love about the Turkish embroideries are the stitches are a little more primitive than a European embroidery. But this would have been on, it looks like it was on a blue, I think this was on a blue bocha, which is sort of like Turkish Tupperware. It's the way they stored things. It was a square piece with embroidery in each color, in each corner. And they would fold it over and store their valuables in the middle. And I love it when I find those because you usually can get two, and it's hard working with antique textiles to get pairs because so often the other one is damaged. But anyway, and then we also use these antique trims to go around the pillow. And for instance, I can't tell you how many times I have picked out the perfect patina to go with the gold. And then since I took it off of something else, I end up being short an inch, and I have to go back and start digging for the other ones. Anyway, and I love these with my roommate from college. We were both art majors at Tulane, or Newcomb back then. And she did these wonderful cypress trees one time when she was visiting. Her name is Amy Dixon, and she lives in Denver. And then we have all kinds of handmade things, like these beautiful little deer made with old canthas. And I love the birds and little deer down there. They're from Germany. A wonderful artist there makes them, and they're all hand stitched. And then you have to look at, these just came in recently, and they're from a wonderful local artist named Garnet Hill. So it's just incredible in this little town how many artists we have. We love these kind of shades because they're all handmade and they're just wonderful. And then some of our favorite things here, we use the old textiles to make cuffs, and a lot of these are on our website. And look at this, I love a good Greek key. This came off a Turkish piece, and this one came off a vestment, probably from Italy or France or Spain. This is a really old one. This is an 18th century piece, a brocade from a vestment. So that's a great one. So I love looking for beautiful antique textiles that have some damage, and then they can, we can use part of it, so we save something from them. It makes me so happy. And then we have all our wonderful workers here. Bess, who has been with me for a very long time, and then she just had a baby, so she's very part-time now. And fortunately, Corey stepped in, and then we have Brian, and we love Brian she's very on brand, in his batik-looking shirt. So we love anything like that that's handmade. And I know in the last show, several people wanted the vase that was on my little dining room table outside. So we do have those in, and we are just getting ready for Christmas, trying to load up some inventory. And by the way, you may look, I just brought these salts in. Like we said, we keep selling out of these. It's crazy. And my husband's getting mad at me because I keep making him make more salt. These are something that are real fun. This is a little area that's kind of wacky. We have these little Christmas ornaments, and I think you could hang them anytime. That's Jerry Garcia. I think my favorite two, Dolly Parton. And then this one is Willie Nelson, and I swear that looks just like Willie Nelson. And these are made in Kyrgyzstan, and a wonderful guy who makes them. These are from an auction, and I just think they're fabulous. This guy even has a little hair. Some people think they're creepy, but it's actually an ashtray. So that's where your cigarette went when people had cigarettes. But look at that one with the little bug on his nose. And so my husband uses it for cigars. Anyway, the cool thing about these, and a lot of the things we sell, is they're not breakable. So we sell a lot online. But every Saturday, every weekend, we get a lot of people coming here. And people who come over here to eat lunch. We'll have people from Monroe or from Jackson, even Baton Rouge, who will come for the day and have lunch and walk the street, walk the plank, and shop. And it's just the most amazing thing how much our fans, I guess my daughter calls them fans, I love that, my customers, how much our customers for all of our shops just love shopping with us. Because I also think most of them knew the town before, and they just so appreciate everybody taking a chance and opening something, because there was nothing here but the Dollar General. So I think we did pretty good. I have so many things in here I'd love to show you. Even these are some pieces that I just love from a friend of mine, Trace Meyer, who makes all these, and he calls them museum bees, because he started out with museum bees and putting them on. These are antique frames that he uses when he finds old broken frames. Hi. Hey, yes, hey there, y'all look around, we're being filmed.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Okay, this is an example. These people, where did you ladies drive in from?
Monroe, Louisiana, via Manhattan.
/
Pasadena.
I told you, it's getting,
a little bit everywhere.
It's scary. We're starting to get discovered here. But anyway, we are so happy to have people walk in at the end of the day like this.
And to check out your blue history.
Yes, so good to see you.
Yes.
Yes. Well, the thing is, so tell them how far Monroe is. Did you drive over here?
We just drove here, and it was an hour and 30 minutes, hour and a half.
Yeah, so
And
people.
This is the coolest store of all time.
Oh my gosh, and I know what I want to tell you. In the beginning, it was so fun because I did a book back in 2015, hence why I needed more space, because I had all my pillows in my workshop at home in my studio. And the third time I backed into somebody, but when I did the book, I needed more help. The third time I backed into somebody's car, my husband said, "You got to get this out of here." And so that's why I said, okay, I'll try this. I mean, it's really the accidental shop, and we cannot believe, it's still, that it worked. But it's so exciting that it's working for the town, too.
And she has beautiful stuff.
She has beautiful stuff.
Oh, see, worth driving in for,
Worth driving in.
Yeah, we had somebody the other day actually that saw the Homeworthy thing from Michigan who drove down here. They were going somewhere and they went out of their way to come here. Was that Brian? You waited on it.
Me,
You, Corey.
They were coming down from Michigan. They were going to Texas, and they had landed in Monroe, and they were driving through to go see family, and they wanted to stop because they saw the video.
Oh, that's so great. Well, anyway, here are our shoppers, and here's our jewelry. The funny thing is with our pillows, we call our pillows jewelry for your room. So we tend to be heavy on jewelry. And once again, I love finding things like these are fabulous that have the ECAT velvets and some with ECAT silk. And I don't know why I'm not wearing a pair because I wear them all the time. These are fabulous pieces from India that I just love that are made out of silk saris. And then this is a really cool thing, believe it or not. This piece that looks like gold is actually made from, well, I don't see it, but it's made from something called gold grass. And it's really a grass, and they weave this in indigenous places in Brazil. And I just love these. I found these actually at a flea market in London. And the lady told me I'm the first one in the United States to carry them. How about that? Little did she know it's a town of 800 people now. But we also have quite an affinity to Africa. I have to say, in 2018, my husband and I went to South Africa because I was trying to learn more about African textiles. And of course, we now are kind of heavy on Africa because it is a place that just stole my heart. It actually reminds me, South Africa reminds me a lot of where we live. There's a lot of flora, a lot of fauna, a lot of beauty, and a lot of grit. And it's a little interesting, but I think when you have those two things juxtaposed, it makes each thing seem more real, which also is why I think when I go work in New York and I'm in a completely different world, I come back and all I can think of is what to do to help the town. And it's difficult because there aren't very many people here, but there are a lot of people who need help. These pots, these are pot colors from the Fulani tribe, and they're probably from the 1930s. They were hand woven, and they used them to cover their beer when they were brewing beer to keep the flies out. Well, the funny thing, I kept picking the ones that they have little plastic weird things in the middle, and I kept picking the ones that weren't plastic. And then the lady at the shop said, "Oh, honey, but the reason the plastic is like right in the center and so valuable, these are like from the 1920s or 30s in Africa, and they'd never seen plastic. So to them, plastic was more important than a gemstone. And so I think they're just spectacular. We also have tons of the binga platters and lots of fun fans, and just lots of interesting pieces. Well, here's my little town, and I just love it. As a matter of fact, Maria's has the best Mexican food. We every now and then have people coming in from out west, like Arizona and New Mexico, and they always tell me this is the best Mexican food they've ever had. Her margaritas are incredible. And now let's go see Chip. I've been holding off, letting you see Chip. And here's my friend Keith Carroll, actually from New York. So oh no, the New Yorkers are discovering us. We're doomed. I can't wait to show y'all this. This is a real treat. And my two favorite artists, well, maybe not my favorite because I love Leslie too. We got a lot of artists here. Come on in. Well, hey, Candy.
Hi,
I can't wait. I'm going to bring you to come see some of Candy's things, but first we're going to go see the pottery in the back. It's probably fun sharing a space with Chip. Come on back. These are some of my favorite, these faux bois coffee mugs, and he does them all by hand. Chip, are you here?
Yeah. Hey, Becky.
Hey. I'm bringing Homeworthy into your world. Will you tell us?
Welcome to St. Joseph.
Will you tell us a little bit about what you do, particularly with the pottery? I mean, look at these, amazing.
I've been throwing pots for the past 23 years, and I'm mostly attracted to Louisiana style pots with cypress trees and flora and fauna, that sort of thing.
If you saw the Homeworthy video that I did, this was the vase I was using, a vase like this, to put my flowers in after I cut all those zinnias. But anyway, these are amazing because they look great with blue and white, other blue and white, and you just kind of look at them, you don't realize what they are, but they're based on cypress trees.
Kind of impressionistic.
Very impressionistic. Yeah. But so Chip is just, I mean, he's an artist in life. I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to peg him. But tell him about your kingfisher sculpture here.
Well, the kingfishers came about because of being in a way off the grid cabin in North Carolina, and it rained for days and days, and so I just got my whittling knives out and started making these little birds, and I just happened to have picked up garnets on top of the mountain and put the garnet eyes in them. And it took, I guess I worked on this for a month.
It's fabulous.
It was fun to make it.
I know. I love the little bugs.
But I've only done one.
I love the bugs. And what did you tell me last time I pointed at them?
Yeah. Watch your finger.
Don't touch me.
Well, it's so far nobody's broken them.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Talk about this chair. I love this. This story's great.
The little chairs started, we had made a trip up to Anchorage, Alaska, and I wanted to get a souvenir from Alaska, and I was looking at all the souvenir shops, and they were so expensive for just little things like this. And while my wife and her sister were off gallivanting around, I'd gotten my little knife out and just picked up twigs and things from around the area. We were told that these twigs up there were over 100 years old. So I created the chair up there in pieces, and when I got back south here, put it all together and then just did a little weave in the bottom of it. So
isn't that amazing?
That was my souvenir from 1991.
I love it. And then tell them about what this is.
These are chairs more locally made, and they're made with white pine bark. And you take the bark and you turn it inside out, and it's more pliable. So you get something, the chair is fully local that way. So
Aren't these fabulous?
The other chairs, you have to order the caning.
Yeah, make that happen.
And the little pool doos are also an example of something to do when you're bored in the mountains and away off the grid.
When he says way off the grid, I have been there.
The grid, yeah.
It is way off the grid, and no electricity.
Mm-mm.
He lives on the land. It's really very cool.
Yep.
And the building is all handcrafted, like everything he does. Look, tell them the story about the chicken spooners.
Chicken spooners, basically got that idea from different potters up in North Georgia. They did different styles of these, so I came up with my own, and they didn't call them chicken spooners. I made it and just decided they were spooner chickens.
Spooner chickens.
So it says spooner chicken on the bottom, and you keep it in your kitchen, and you just put your little spoons in it to mix your coffee or your tea or whatever.
And tell us about this guy.
The face jugs are my rendition of being in East Tennessee as a kid, growing up near churches up there where they had snakes in church. And when people really got excited, they would have those snakes, and sometimes they slung them, and they would land on somebody's head, which everybody freaks out. So I started making face jugs with snakes on their heads. Of course, these are my Mardi Gras
ones with crowns.
face jugs, and then of course that one has the snake on it too.
Aren't those amazing?
And this, believe it or not, is local clay, right out of the Mississippi River. No additives, whatever. Look at the color of that. Isn't it beautiful?
That is amazing. Yeah.
Just go out here when the river's low, scoop it up. You got to get slick clay, and you just bring it back, and you got to work it, and and finally you come up with something. And
it's fabulous.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's really cool. You also have to show them your first project. Oh my gosh, look at this one. This is fabulous.
That was the second one.
That was your second one?
You're talking about duplicity. I went, octa duplicity here. Four faces. First one. Yeah, this was done in 1974. The teacher just wanted us to make something, so I decided to make a bust of somebody that looked some old character up in the East Tennessee. And you would make this, and then you actually have to cut it in half and dig out the inside, which took a good bit of time. And while it's drying, the people at night came in to clean up the school, and one of the kids that were with the people there took a knife and just tore the ears off of him. and I told my teacher, look, somebody's destroyed my little old man. And she says, oh no. And she picked him up and she just laid a big kiss on him. And her name was Miss Culpepper.
Oh, Miss Culpepper.
I
Big
never
sloppy
forget her,
kiss.
1974.
Show them the eyes.
You know, I use fingernail polish with the eyes.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But check out this area. Look, oh good, you're making more of your
Yeah,
faux bois
those are
mugs.
faux bois mugs. They're about to be glazed.
Aren't they wonderful?
Yeah, they take a good bit of time to make those though.
I know, because you just, you do each little knot. I mean, it's
You
not
do the
even.
knots, and the top ring is, applied separately, and then of course the handles, and then you sgraffito them, and scratch them,
Right.
and that's how you come about. But that's a long process. So,
Well,
But
this
I-
place is special to my heart because I have spent time in here. I had to do something for the Lenox Hill Gala in New York. We had to do a tabletop, and Chip and his wife Val and I sat here night after night making all these creatures out of Fortuny fabric. And anyway, it was so great. My husband would come in and bring us Popeyes, and we had the worst diet because we were in here the whole time working. And I don't know that I've ever been happier in
That was
here.
fun.
It was a lot of fun.
it was. We were making mosquitoes. Here's one of the prototypes. I don't know if you can see it. It's hard to get a backdrop
I think
on
you
it.
have another one with the Fortuny on it.
But that was the first stage of it.
Yeah.
The whole thing was trying to figure out how to make it where it was actually stand. But we have one that was completed still.
Yes. We in the design we did a big tree and I had a swamp design and we hung those big mosquitoes out of the tree and it was fun.
They look real.
People were like, "Why are you decorating with these bugs?" But it worked. These were-
Fortuny mosquitoes.
well, we have to say mosquitoes made out of Fortuny.
Correct.
We don't want anybody to have any intellectual property problems.
No, you're right. Now here's something you haven't seen, or you have.
I
These are
love
the
that.
little. I try to make them look Chinese, but these are basically.
Yeah.
That's your blue willow design there. But then I started doing them and this one doesn't show up very, so that's a second. These are oystermen. So
Oh,
they're out,
oystermen. Cool.
The others are more clear.
Well, look
and
at this.
you
Look
can
at that
see
palmetto.
That's a palmetto. It was
just
the
love
first
that.
one I had done years ago.
I mean, is that amazing?
But that takes forever, and you just it's mind-boggling to keep carving.
I know. It's one of those things you just can't think of anything else while you're doing
But I think
it.
everybody's making oysters now, so they're fun.
And I love your little alligator there.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
those need to be set up for Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras alligators, but look at that. And this hasn't been fired yet.
No,
so.
they're ready to be fired.
Isn't that just beautiful?
They're cypress trees. This one has a little sailboat on it. There's a little moon coming out. So it's kind of an in-between Newcomb and Shearwater potteries. So that was my goal, was to be somewhere in between.
You were influenced by those.
Yeah.
I mean, check that out. Is that amazing? Look at all these trees.
I just hope we get the glaze right on it.
I know, but you're such a dysfunctional perfectionist.
Yeah,
You can't- and we have that in common. It takes us a long time to get stuff done.
And Val had me making olive jars, put olive.
Olive oil in it.
Yeah, well, you know what we need to do? We need to make little crocks for the salt.
Oh, great idea.
A little cork on the top.
If you saw the last Homeworthy, I forgot to mention that I make these gorgeous pillows, but I talked about my husband's sea salt that he makes in the kitchen, and we can't keep it in stock now. We're selling a ton of sea salt. I'm hoping after this show maybe we'll sell some pillows.
Anyway, these are little Gasper goo. You gotta have a little affordable things. You have a local fish around here. It's called a Gasper goo, and of course this is a little male Gasper goo, and there's a little girl, and he's got his little
He's got his cigar.
cigar. Let's call it a cigar. Yeah.
Well, let's
anyway.
go look at your antique shop.
Okay.
But I'd also love to show my favorite photograph from Candy here.
Love
She
that.
is our nature photograph. I mean, she documents everything happening behind the scenes. And when I tell you behind the scenes, like she'll sit for hours trying to catch a bear come out. And anyway, please show them this pelican picture. I had to buy this one. I love this because these are pelicans, but it almost looks like a piece of abstract art. You know, it's just, to me, that is just amazing. And that won an award, didn't it?
It did. So in 2022, I entered it into the Audubon photo contest, and it was in the top 100 out of over 10,000 photos. So I was pretty excited about that.
That's great.
You need to show
But
this.
I know. And then
That's fabulous.
these are fabulous because once again, it seems like we get back to this nature and wood, but these almost look like abstract pieces because they're, and that's real life nature, right?
It is. I call that Roots of Cypress Past.
I like that.
Because when the lake was down really low, you could see all the cypress roots, and they all just looked so unique and individual. They were just really neat.
It's amazing. And Candy also has some great books. I love these. Another Tinsel Exposure is her second one, and the first one was Tinsel Exposure, and they're just fabulous. I mean, look at that. Who sits there and catches two snakes together? I mean, that's how much time she spends in the outdoors. Check that out. Yeah, that takes a really courageous photographer.
Zoom lens.
Zoom lens? Okay, now you just need to tell people you're swimming with him.
Yeah. They're just waiting in the water.
Yeah, waiting for him to come along. Yeah.
Waiting and waiting.
But anyway, this is what is so amazing about our little town. We have so many talented people out of really such a small population. It's just incredible. All right, bye. That was great. I love those guys. They're just wonderful. Both really talented. And Chip, like every time I walk in there, you never know what he's making. You can't really, he's not an artist who tries to make a lot of money because he just does it for the pure joy of it. And he changes around. All of a sudden a bunch of things will sell and then he kind of gets bored with it and changes to something else. Now I have to point out some of the funnest things at Chip's place. I mean, you just never know what you're going to see here. But one of my favorite things, and unfortunately they're not for sale, so don't try to buy them, but are his collection of coconut heads. And he had some, and then this great guy was downsizing, and he had a massive collection of these fun coconut heads, and so he gave them all to Chip. So of course Chip can't keep them, can't sell them. But anyway, what I want to show you is how cool this building is. This was the old Western Auto, and it's getting ready to have some new places opening. And then I want to take you upstairs to see Leslie Ratcliffe's art and see the building. And this building is so cool, I can't wait for you to see it. I am almost envious. If I had time to be an artist, this is where I'd want to be and I'd want to paint. But Leslie has told me I can come paint with her anytime. But the problem is, I'm really not a very good painter. Come on up. Hey Leslie, I'm so excited that we caught Leslie here because she actually has 4 children, so sometimes it's hard to catch her. But this is where she paints, and it's the coolest building. I mean, I just love this. And it's got a great view of the town. And Leslie married a local guy and is an incredible addition to our community. Let's see what you're working on now.
I am working on some cypress trees, kind of a local landscape, which is, as you know, I love to paint.
Yes, the cypress trees, the cool thing about the cypress trees here is when they're in the water, the bottoms swell. And it's something you certainly don't see them in the north. So they're a special kind of tree, and the reflections in the water are amazing.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, it's special when you see them.
Yeah, I bought several pieces from Leslie, and I love them. As a matter of fact, I have one hanging in my grandbaby's nursery, and it's fabulous.
Thank you.
It's one of the oak trees like that, because that's the other thing around here, those big giant live oaks.
Yeah.
You paint those a lot, too.
I do. I mean, I think we have the most beautiful trees.
I know.
That's really what makes our area special. Let's get this old window.
Which, how fabulous is that, you know? Look at this. I love coming out here. This is so fun. And sometimes they have music out here and they'll have parties out here. When Leslie has an opening, everybody has wine and it's beautiful. But Leslie, okay, tell us more about moving here and your inspiration.
Okay, well, I'm from south part of Louisiana. But my husband grew up here, so I fell in love, and I've been here about 15 years. And this building was owned by my husband's grandfather, and it was a Western auto store. And my mother-in-law actually owns it now, and I am fortunate enough to have this space to paint. It's great. I have this view of downtown.
And she saved the building. It was in terrible disrepair.
Yeah, my mother-in-law saved the building, so it's been, and I have a little tag along here.
I know, with that red hair.
And now I'm raising my 4 children here, and it really is the best place for kids to grow up. I mean, I couldn't say that enough.
I know.
So,
I know. Well, look, okay, so we also have another artist. This is when we stopped at Ann Connolly Fine Arts Annex. This is Ember, who is here because Ann is, letting her stay in the space, and she's painting the mural on the side of the building. And the weird thing is, everybody goes, well, what's wrong with this space? Right before Michael and I moved here in 1980, when did we move here? 87. There was a grocery store on the corner and all these fabulous old buildings, and unfortunately the grocery store caught on fire and a quarter of the town burned down, and it was just tragic. And I have to say, the 80s was really when the town went down, and the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, 2010, it wasn't just, it was just recent that all this has happened.
well, when I moved here, 2009, I mean, there was nothing.
Everything's boarded up.
And then it slowly, from then, started to come back.
It's been great. And fortunately, Leslie's mother-in-law was a big part of that by saving this building, which is a gem.
It really is. God, we just really have the best view up here. It's awesome to be an artist in St. Joe. I think we just have so much inspiration.
What do you love most about the town?
I think the people. Mm-hmm. We're really a close-knit community, and I think that's the most special thing about where we live.
I think you're right. I mean, this whole renovation of downtown is a complete community effort.
I agree.
And it's so sweet to see everybody pulling together. It really is.
It really has been amazing.
Yeah. I wanted to show you this lucky break we have. We have this wonderful artist from New Orleans who is normally a scenic painter in the movie industry. And so while the strike has been terrible, it actually gave her the opportunity to come up here. And I showed you her little sketch in Ann Connolly Fine Arts little annex. So this is Ember Soberman, and this is an amazing, amazing transition for our town. We're trying to do lots of fun things. And I want to show you also this building that now has the Cottage Boutique. This was the original post office in our town, and it's from around the mid-1800s. And when I was a kid, this lady named Frances DeValin lived there, and she used to invite us over for tea parties. And she was so sweet and a character, and I think she liked spending more time with kids than she did adults. But anyway, so here is the building, and it's just a little gem. And we're so happy that we have another little shop here. And once again, the Cottage Boutique has great little gifts, and they're very reasonable. So we'll have to give y'all information at the end of the show. Okay, Homeworthy, we're now going to take you to one of my favorite places in town, the Walking Pig. And Jessica, the chef, is incredible. Her pastries are amazing, and every sandwich is on homemade bread. So y'all got to come see this. Hey, Jessica.
Hey.
What you got cooking today?
Oh, the usual good
The
stuff,
usual,
you know.
good.
Good to see you.
Have to look over here. Oh my gosh.
Check out.
Vanilla mini bunt with caramel. That is.
Let's see what else. Cinnamon roll pound cake. Classic yellow cake with chocolate frosting, red velvet. That's a big favorite.
I know, we've had that at our house with things. Is there any way I can have a taste
Of course.
of the vanilla mini bunt with caramel? Because caramel is one of my favorite things.
Decorated with caramel corn on top.
Oh my God, of course. I mean, look at this.
Yep.
I love
It's
it.
going to be yummy.
Look at the little caramel corns. So fabulous. All right, can I stand it? Will you share it with me?
Of course.
Can I have a little bite? This is one of those places you just can't worry about diet. Anyway,
I'll take
let's
that.
do that. And I'm gonna have a little taste. Oh my
too.
goodness. What is that, a little cream cheese or what?
A
or
little
icing?
buttercream,
A little
vanilla
buttercream icing on the inside. Hey, this
Here,
is amazing.
tink.
Cheers. Mmm. Oh my
It's
God.
pretty good.
It is so good. Jessica is an expert pastry person, and we are so lucky to have her in the town. We have to tell them.
Thank you.
Tell them how you got here. I mean, how, and the
How
name
this
of your other
happened.
business while I eat the rest
Well,
of this.
I'm a native, of course, and my husband and I lived in the Nashville area for about 25 years, during which time we had a busy food truck. We had a successful restaurant there for about 6 years.
And what was the name of that?
That was Delta Bound.
Because
We always wanted to come back to the Delta, the Louisiana Delta, come back home. And we did, some favorites from home in Tennessee. It was nice to be able to have catfish po' boys and some pulled pork sandwiches and, crawfish, things like that in Tennessee. And we thought we would have to wait till retirement to move back home. But the opportunity started arising in St. Joseph with everything that was going on, with businesses opening and people really pitching in and trying to, make St. Joe special and vibrant again. And so that's how we ended back here. We've been here, the restaurant, The Walking Pig, has been open for right at 2 years, a little over 2 years now.
Yeah,
Yep.
And of course we were doing all the renovation during the pandemic, which made
Yes.
everything hard. But the backstory on the building is, what we heard, this building was donated to an organization, which was great, but they couldn't afford to renovate it, so they were going to tear it down and put up a metal building. And this really takes up 3 spots. So my husband and I were like, no, that can't happen, really. And so they put it up for auction. And of course, they threw a price out there that to hear is, pretty much, but in the big scheme of things was nothing compared to what city prices are. So anyway, one day I kept saying, you've got to bid on it, Michael, you've got to bid on it. And I was out of town and he said, okay, I'm bid. And I said, no, you got to go more than the minimum. And he's like, no, if somebody else will bid higher than me, that's great. That means they'll do something. So anyway, he calls me after that and he goes, you want the good news or the bad news? Yes, the good news is we got the building. The bad news is we got the building. And so really it was about a 2-year renovation probably. And Jessica and her husband were in Nashville just chomping at the bit to get back here, which is just a miracle. Let's talk a little bit about the building. Sure. We really had fun laying out the bottle caps. You were even helping.
So much fun. I loved it.
It was great. We got a bunch of our workers over here and we put a little Greek key design with the bottle caps, because when the concept to me for the restaurant was to be like Galatoire's in New Orleans, but also like a juke joint. So, it's a little bit of a funny take on a fancy restaurant. And then we worked it all out. The bar is fabulous. It's a very old bar that came out of an abandoned building in Tallulah, right up the road, if you've ever heard of Tallulah. But anyway, I love the old mirror in it. And then of course I found a big boar's head to go up there. But the cool thing about working here in this little town is that everybody chipped in, because we had all these big bare walls. And so I called Chip and I said, how many mirrors do you have? And Chip, he's basically, he's incredible, but a bit of a hoarder. And so he kept bringing out more mirrors and more mirrors and more mirrors. And before you know it, we had the whole place filled. So actually the mirrors are for sale. But they look so good, I kind of cringe when somebody wants to buy one.
Then it was time to head back into the kitchen to see their famous pizza being made.
We do really pretty Greek salad on Thursday nights to go with the pizza.
Yum. Okay. Oh, wow, that's so pretty.
Thank you.
It goes probably goes great with pizza, but what all is in it?
Yep. We've got some Greek Kalamata olives, some feta cheese, red onions, tomato, cucumber, banana peppers.
Banana peppers.
Yep. And we make a Greek vinaigrette just for that
cool.
with lemon juice and garlic. It's really yummy.
You know, is it your brisket sandwich I've gotten? It is divine because she does these little, puts these little peppercorns in that are fried, and I mean, just makes it.
Yeah.
It's
They're
so
almost
good.
like a fried pickle.
Yeah.
Give you a little
It's almost
kick.
like, a little fried pickle on your sandwich. Really good. On your sandwich with homemade bread.
And Wilson's back here putting the pizzas together. He's doing barbecue pizza, it looks like, with some of our pulled pork.
Oh, yeah.
We make our own red sauce, make our own dough. That's got a Beta beer.
Your dough has a Beta beer in it?
It does.
Oh, cool.
And a starter that just turned a year old now. I noticed the date on it yesterday. So, yep.
Cool.
And so, yeah, in the evenings on Thursday, we kind of transform the baking area into the pizza area. So, yeah, we're going to bake that at 500 degrees in our convection oven, and they turn out really nice. So.
Oh my gosh, it is beautiful.
Thank you.
And these again
These are garlic knots. Again, another homemade bread that we do here at the restaurant with some Parmesan and parsley and some of the homemade marinara sauce.
Oh, fabulous. And look at this pizza. I can't stand it.
And this one has, again, pulled pork, some peppers, our white cheese, white sauce.
Yum.
Yeah, I think
I'd
just
love to have a
dig,
piece.
dig in, help
Okay,
yourself.
great. Let me pull a piece over here. Uh-oh. Okay.
And a little bit of onion on there.
A little bit of
Yep.
onion too. That looks fabulous. Oh wait, grab that piece. Oh, I can't wait.
I'm gonna try one of these.
It is so good. I mean, delicious. And the funny thing is, this is like something you'd get at a fancy restaurant in the city. And I promise you it's not as expensive, but it is absolutely delicious. All right, this is one of the oldest establishments that is still in business, and I'm so sorry we missed him, but I just have to show you the hot tamale place. And the greatest thing is my friend Tim Walker started this, and his mother and my mother really raised us. I think we could have swapped out mothers all the time. And after school, Tim would come over and we'd play basketball. Yes, that is one of my hidden talents. I was a good basketball player. But anyway, Tim makes all his tamales in here, and he works on Wednesday making them. He starts selling them on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and he just stops when he runs out. So they're that good. I actually want him to call it Tamales. I thought that would be better. But at the same time, that Walker name that's gold around here. Everybody loved the Walkers. Well, I've pretty much shown you all our great food spots. And I mean, these tamales are so good. My son in Nashville usually buys about 40 dozen at a time and brings them back to Nashville because all his friends want them. And it's really an institution. But I think we're getting ready to go to the Blues place. I'm hoping my husband will be there so we can have a date. All right, follow me. This is such a special treat because this is one of my favorite places to get fried fish. But when they have a blues band, it is so much fun. And I'm looking for Rhonda. Come on out.
Becky.
Hey, darling. How are you?
How are you? It's great to see you.
How's it going?
It's going well.
You getting a crowd in there tonight?
I am. It's great to see the community come out and just enjoy old school blues.
I know.
You know, come out and have a great time, and you know.
How did you get so interested in old school blues?
Well, I grew up in Northern Louisiana, here in South Parish, and my grandmother, my Aunt Mickey, my Aunt Jeannie, always listened to blues. That was natural at our house. So when I came back home, it was like, you know, it would be great to have a place where people can come hang out, listen to old school blues, just have a platform where anybody can come out and sing.
Right.
So.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It really is one of the best things that has happened here out of all the good stuff. Because what Rhonda has done is she's brought the whole community together.
Yeah.
And you see everybody dancing, everybody really having fun.
Yes.
And I love what you've done. I think it's my favorite thing ever. And I happen to like blues a lot myself. So.
I know. Well, you were here with us. Me and Mr. Marshall, it took us 2 years to actually get to this point. So it's great to have a place where people feel comfortable and can come eat really good food, listen to good music, and just, hey, let the juke joint jump.
I know. I love it. That's your let the juke joint jump. And that's what happens.
Yes.
And it is so much fun. We really, I mean, it's such an addition to the community.
Yes.
And the fact that it took 2 years, because you were doing it during COVID.
Yes.
During COVID.
Through COVID, and trying to get help, and it's just great to have. I had a lot of the elderly, like Mr. Marshall, Mr. Stays. I had my cousin Mitchell, my uncle Alvin. All of them came in different, points, just to help.
I mean, so it's a family affair.
It's a family affair. This is Family Blues. It's sharing our love with the community and just having this platform available.
I know. And that is one of the things. I mean, we are in the Delta. We just happen to be on the Louisiana side. So, I mean, I grew up hearing blues all the time.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, the funny thing is, when I was a kid, I didn't know it was even called blues. But we were listening to all the music, and it was, and then finally I went to New Orleans for college, and I remember finding a bar that had blues players, and I went, oh, we got to go there, the music's great. And everybody walked in and went, oh, the blues. And I'm like, I didn't know it's called the blues. I just listened to it my whole life.
Yes, exactly. It's just the foundation. Blues is the foundation of music.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just great to have a place that can, actually people can come out and just listen, whether you're inside our lounge or outside listening to the music. It's just a great opportunity.
Yeah. And well, can you show us around?
Sure.
Okay.
Welcome.
Let's go. Let's go see the operation here.
Awesome. So here it is here. This is what, we actually, with my friend Becky here, we actually reconstructed the entire lounge. We wanted to keep the authentic look and feel. So all of this is reused wood from an old house.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things that you said. You was like, hey, find a house that, they're tearing down. So it's great to see that. Now the albums that you see on the wall here, they're actually from part of my grandmother's collection.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yes, I love it. And so I had when different artists come down to St. Joe, I always like for them to leave something here as part of it. So you'll see different things come over time. We have people writing their names out just as a memorial as they come in and listen to some blues.
I know. Well, when did it actually open? Remind me.
We opened in April of 23. April of 23 of this year.
So we've been open. You've been open almost 6 months.
Almost 6 months. Yeah.
There's been a lot of fun in 6 months. I mean, this to me is the icing on the cake. This makes it. This makes our place wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
So we're gonna go. I think we ought to go look in the kitchen, but then I want to get out there and dance.
Yes.
All right. Show us the kitchen. Hey, girl.
Sure.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna peep in here just a little bit. So we have our head manager here, Miss Inez, who is the head cook here, and Mitchell there on the grill as well. So this is where all of the good stuff happens, from brisket sandwiches, pulled pork, ribs, burgers, even catfish. So if you wanted some old school Southern cooking, this is where it's going to be at. This is where it's going to happen at.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we had some friends from France come a few weeks ago, and they had their sons with them, and I think they were up in Oxford, Mississippi, and when the mom got here, she said, no, you need to come here, it's worth it. And they went around, we showed them everything. They were here for a couple of days. This was their favorite thing, and they said it was their favorite thing in their whole tour.
Wow,
They were on an art tour for 5 weeks, and it was their favorite place.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That says a lot.
Yes, it does. It does.
So it just feels really authentic, and what we really hope is that the Blues Trail from Mississippi will pick this up.
Yeah,
because it's wonderful.
It is. We're still growing. We're still learning. So we'd love to meet new people as well. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
So this is our slow smoke brisket that we have in-house. This is where we smoke in-house. And so
right out there. It's
Yes,
cool. Very
yes,
cool.
in our smokehouse. So this is what Becky, please try and tell us what you think.
I'm gonna go ahead and yum with some barbecue sauce too.
Yes.
Yum. I'm gonna have to. Oh my God. It doesn't need barbecue sauce. It is
Yes.
delicious.
We slow smoke it. We slow smoke it for over 15 hours. So we really slow smoke it because we want that old school pecan wood taste. We want it to be tender to the tender to your taste buds once you actually put it in. So yeah. So this is what people come back from: our briskets, our pulled pork ribs, and our burgers. And your favorite is your
really
fish.
good.
Yes.
Rhonda, thank you so much. Thank you especially for the taste of brisket. That was amazing. But thank you for showing us your wonderful place that makes our town. Thank you, Homeworthy. I hope you enjoyed our little special town that just is so dear to my heart. And I now want to go dance a little with my sweetie. So I'll see you later.
One good time.
That's my favorite.
Hey, baby. How you doing?
Sweetie. What you got? All right. We got to dance. Come on.
Everybody.
Come on, Faye.
We're going to try it. One more. Said everybody. Come along.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.